Okay. All right. Cash flow kings and cash flow queens. Okay. Thank you so much for hopping on this call. Getting some more information on this. This is really just another informational help video for you comparing returns from traditional investments to e-commerce. The reason so many people are still willing to look at this, even though the biggest risk of this is your agency actually going to do what they say they're going to do, is this. And I'm going to show you. Okay, we're not going to get into it on this screen yet because I'm going to come back to it. But check this out, guys. Let's think about real estate. Okay, so with this image here that should be on your screen, they're looking at splitting this, and really they're inflating the value of what this looks like as far as hedging your money into an investment like this. Is they're looking at appreciation, average appreciation of a property, and then historical rental dividends or yields that would come from similar homes, as far as what you're collecting on cash less your expenses if you're a renter, if you're a landlord, or if you're a multifamily investor, whatever. So even with those two things taken into consideration, assuming property equity returns at historical property appreciation levels, as well as rental dividends, and that if you want to just look at one or the other, you can just look at number 2 here as far as 5.6 a year, which is, I guess, that would be kind of low. Let's say 1% a month. Okay, let's be generous, and you do really well with real estate. You're doing 1% a month. And on here, they break it down another way here. I'll see if I can scroll down. I like this graph they showed through here. Check this out. So even with a really good real estate investment, we're talking about a historically less than 12% return annually on your money. And keep in mind, you're tying up a lot of liquidity with this usually, even if you're going through and doing, other people's money, or you're borrowing. Take into now the consideration that you have a rate of return, or sorry, a debt that you have to return a payment on every single month that's going to be taken out of that. So usually that means most of their equity return is taken up in a mortgage payment, then they rent it out to someone, and they're making $500 a month on $50,000 worth, or $500,000 worth of loan. 1% of that, a month. You're doing 12% a year. So this is average compounded annual returns for real estate. I like this one. Check out this picture, guys. And again, I'll just make sure that this takes a second and make sure that it is loading properly. This is your average rate of return. Now, again, following investments for 40 years, 40. See this? 40 years, the last 40 years. Okay, cash under the mattress, which is ironic. Your value today would be the same, which is actually not true because you have inflation at about 3-ish%. Realized inflation with cost of living is at least 3%, maybe even higher. High yield savings account, 3.6. You turn $120,000 into $259,000 in 40 years. That's 40. Okay, 40. You're just doubling it in 40 years. Real estate, they're saying your primary home. Obviously, that's just a measurement of your equity, not any cash flow. 4.5%, $120,000 turns to $321,000. S&P 500, which is averaging. Okay, get this. Look, guys, averaging 11.5% a year. Okay, now stay with me, guys. Again, not poo-pooing anything. If you guys want to do this, you want to do real estate, you want to do high yield savings account, you want to do SP 5, that's fine. Do it all. I'm not that expensive. You can do it all. Check this out. I want you to look at how our P&L reporting system with Seller Board is actually reporting a ROI monthly on the money that you put into your inventory. So this is a real number of what you're going to get back. This is not ROI on the upfront $65,000 or whatever it is that you're looking at paying me. Your ROI is on your inventory. So this person, going back to, let's say these months were negatives, which we're going to leave on there, just because there's ups and downs on this. Okay. After we got through a nasty January, February, which was within his first 3-4 months of setup, we ran into some hiccups with inventory purchases. And I don't mind showing you that this is not going to be absolutely perfect every single month. This is realistic. Okay. It's a business. You're going to have ups and downs, but check this out. 8%, 1 month on $50,000. And again, this person has about $100,000 in inventory total. Not at this point, but let's just go with that. He did 8.61% on $48,000 that month. The next month, a little bit lower, 4.94%. But hey, again, historical averages of something else you're going to be putting your money into. Look at this, 11% a year. That's not even 1% a month. And we're doing that. We're doing that 4.94% in 1 month. We're doing half of that. What's going to take 6% of the S&P 500, 6 months, we're doing in 1 month. 11% ROI. 1 month. Again, this is only on the actual sale of your inventory. This is what you put into that's why inventory is your catalyst for success. $52,000, 11% on $52,000 in 1 month. Again, it just gets better, guys. 10% on 61,000, 1 month, 62. And you get the idea, 62 and 4%, 55 and 9%, 55 and 5%. You're still absolutely crushing real estate, high interest yield, S&P 500, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Now, this is where it gets crazy. And I can't promise this to happen every single month, guys. But look at this. This can be, you can do what the S&P 500 will do in 2 years in 1 month with your inventory. $102,000, 26.40%. And again, we can't do that every single month. So I don't want to set that expectation. Now, had we not had really poopy January, February, and if we're doing trailing 12 months, guys, this is still fire. In another 2 months, when he has no negative months, he's going to be somewhere in the 20% range, ROI average. Like, this is unbelievable, right? We go a few more months after that. We get into, trailing 12 months in another 3-4 months from now instead of 2. We're talking about 40%, right? This is compounding every single month. So that's why those numbers can be so high. Is you're looking at doing, in this case, 26% on $100,000 in 1 month. And again, that's not traditional. That's not like, oh, that's going to happen every single month. But let's say we're equalizing back this year, in this month, 2026, January, 14%, November, 12%, October, traditionally slow investing month, 8%. This is a month. This is monthly, guys. This is why people are addicted to this. This is why people are willing to take a quote unquote risk on e-commerce. But I'm telling you, if you go back and watch my 3 red flags video and you protect yourself from, these people that are either ignorant or arrogant, usually it's ego or stupidity in this space for agency owners, you can protect yourself. And if you go with me, you're not going to have to worry about that anyway. So anyways, guys, these are, obviously fantastic numbers. Let's, again, last minute comparison of 26.48% in December to your annual average rate of return for cash on a mattress, doing nothing, which should actually be negative 3%. High yield savings account, which is basically breaking even. Primary home, which is also just barely breaking even now with inflation, and S&P 500 at 11%. Again, not saying don't do this. I'm saying when you add an Amazon asset and you add an Amazon storefront into a portfolio of other hedged assets, we're talking about something. Oh, and again, before we finish, okay, yeah, let's go here. We're talking about something that essentially is recession-proof, because every single month that we go to buy and sell something, we get a chance to readjust back into the marketplace and say, okay, this isn't going to work. We're going to do this instead. So that is why people are rushing to Amazon and why people are running to Amazon FBA and FBM specifically, because it is a consistent cash return asset if you spend enough money on inventory and if you are obviously trusting us to make the right inventory decisions as we get to hit a reset button with that every single month. Because don't forget, he's selling out 50 to 75% of his total inventory cost every single month, except for obviously December. He sold all of it out and actually went through it. But he was very, very responsive and active for that. So we were able to work with him. But got amazing guys, gals. This is fantastic. Future investors with us. This is a great video for you to educate yourself on why this is so popular and why this is something people are flocking to in a period of time right now where there's just so much volatility in traditional marketplaces, traditional investment portfolios. It'll be great opportunity for you to hedge some of your funds into something like this with 26, 14, 12, 8, 5 monthly returns on whatever you put into your inventory. Love to see you guys on the other side. And if you haven't already, book a call and let's chat. Be blessed. Talk soon. Bye-bye.